Imagine a classroom where one student is allowed to make all the rules. He decides when recess starts. He decides who gets homework. He decides who can speak. And when someone says, "That's unfair," he says, "Too bad, I'm in charge." At first, this might seem fast and simple. One person decides, and everyone follows. But very quickly, a problem appears. When power belongs to only one person, that person can use it badly. This is the basic reason behind checks and balances. Checks and balances is a system designed to stop one person, one group, or one part of government from becoming too powerful. To understand it, let's imagine a country like a big machine. This machine has important jobs to do. It must make laws, enforce laws, and decide what the laws mean when people disagree. In many democratic systems, these jobs are separated into different branches. The first branch is the legislative branch. This is the part that makes laws. For example, a parliament or Congress may debate and vote on new rules for the country. The second branch is the executive branch. This is the part that carries out the laws. A president, prime minister, government ministers, and public agencies usually belong here. The third branch is the judicial branch. This is the court system. Judges decide whether laws are being followed and whether the government is acting within the limits of the Constitution. Now here's the important part. These branches are not completely separate in the sense that they ignore each other. Instead, they can check each other. A check means one branch has a legal power to limit or question another branch. For example, lawmakers may pass a law, but a president might be able to veto it. That is a check. But the story does not end there. In some systems, lawmakers can override that veto if enough of them agree. That is another check. Courts may also look at a law and say, "This law violates the Constitution." That is a check on the lawmakers. And if the executive branch acts illegally, courts may stop it. That is a check on the government's power. So checks and balances is not just about saying no. It is about forcing power to slow down, explain itself, and stay within rules. Think of it like driving a car. The engine gives the car power, but the brakes, steering wheel, mirrors, and traffic laws keep that power from becoming dangerous. A car with only an engine is not freedom. It is a crash waiting to happen. Government is similar. Power is necessary. A country needs people who can make decisions, respond to emergencies, collect taxes, protect rights, and build public systems. But power without limits can become abuse. This idea became especially important during the Enlightenment, when thinkers like Montesquieu argued that political power should be divided so that no ruler could control everything alone. The goal was not to make government weak. The goal was to make it safer. Checks and balances also protect ordinary people. Imagine the government wants to punish someone unfairly. If the same group writes the law, arrests the person, judges the case, and controls the punishment, the person has almost no protection. But if courts are independent, the person can challenge the government. If lawmakers investigate the executive, corruption can be exposed. If leaders know they can be questioned, they are less likely to act like kings. Of course, checks and balances can make government slower. Laws may take longer to pass. Leaders may complain that courts or parliaments are blocking them. But that delay is often part of the design. The system is saying, before power moves forward, someone else must be able to ask, is this legal? Is this fair? Is this constitutional? So, in simple words, checks and balances means this. No one gets all the power. Each part of government has its own job, and each part has some ability to limit the others. It is like a group of people holding the same heavy object from different sides. If one person tries to pull too hard, the others can hold it steady. That is the story of checks and balances. It is not just a political phrase from textbooks. It is one of the main ideas behind modern democracy. Power should exist, but it should never be trusted without limits.